Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Tuesday evening to you all. Hope you guys are doing well out there tonight and having a great work week out there so far and all that good stuff. And, we're here this evening to talk about this winter storm that's ongoing. It's been a weird one. We haven't just had like a huge chunk of moisture affect a huge area of real estate out here. In fact, we've had just multiple rounds instead, and this morning again we had another round of thunderstorms, but in the form of frozen precipitation that really slammed the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Yesterday it was Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Today and this morning it was the Dallas-Fort Worth area that picked up. I don't know how much sleet you guys saw. It takes a lot of sleet to add up to 1 inch. And a lot of times if you actually look on the ground, it doesn't look like there's 1 inch on the ground, but there's probably certain areas that saw a couple inches of sleet out there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I mean, there was literally thunderstorms of sleet. It was unreal, some of the footage that we saw. And I'll be honest, I kind of got it wrong with that. I thought there would be more so freezing rain in areas of North Texas this morning and today, but we just had that convective element, which typically brings more cold air aloft, and typically you just have more in the form of sleet. Even some snow was falling in areas pretty far south in Texas. Somebody told me there was some flurries flying around in the Austin, San Antonio area this morning. I think there was some snow flying around for areas of Arkansas around Memphis. So it's been a tricky system of figuring out what exactly is falling from the sky. But one thing we do know is freezing rain is going to be the main winter weather type out there that's going to fall in areas of Texas, really moving into overnight into tomorrow. Freezing rain will definitely be the dominant winter weather precipitation type out there, that's for sure. So that's what we're going to talk about. I've had to start this video over a few times, just mentally trying to get in a little bit more. I think I'm just, I'm not feeling the best. I feel fine. My nose is really running big time, and just a little bit of a head cold that I've been really feeling over the last 24 hours. So we're going to muscle our way through this video, and we're going to definitely get you guys some good information here, because really the worst part of the storm is honestly going to crank up overnight tonight. And that's wild to say, considering the fact we've been dealing with a couple days already of frozen precipitation for areas pretty far south. So we're going to give you an update on the Mid-South too, and talk about a little bit of a might potentially be surprised with by the time we're waking up tomorrow morning across areas of the Mid-Atlantic and Southern New England. So we'll talk about that towards the end of the video. So if you folks have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it, and if you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below so I can pray over it and others can do so too. Sorry about the almost 3-minute intro. It seems like that went by very fast, but anyways, you know how I do, guys. My intros drag on. I like to talk to you folks like you're right here in front of me. But I know this is right here in your face, guys. I like to look at pivotal weather, and it breaks down the regions a lot better. But we're just at the National Weather Service site that shows us our watches and warnings. So a couple things have changed. One, you have some ice storm warnings that have extended a little bit deeper further south in Mississippi, really just in the western, and only in the western sections of Mississippi. Some winter weather advisories are now getting close to the area that you would call central Mississippi. A couple more ice storm warnings have been upgraded from winter weather advisories a little bit further east in Tennessee, but I was wrong on them maybe extending some warnings into the Nashville area. Of course, that might change, but we'll have to watch, because, like I said, we're just going to focus on the next 24 hours. Because this thing, the evolution of this is still changing in the models. It really is. It's pretty wild to think about. But, you've had a couple ice storm warnings upgraded from winter weather advisories a little bit further east in areas of Tennessee. Excuse me. And then check it out. I mentioned this in northwest Alabama, that I thought a couple counties in northwest Alabama will get some winter weather advisories, and that's what we have here. No warnings upgraded in Kentucky, just advisories, winter weather advisories, all the way into the mountains of western Virginia. And then the other thing that's changed is this was all pink a little bit earlier, a few hours ago, which symbolized a winter storm warning. Now that's upgraded to an ice storm warning. So why is that? Well, my thinking is because they think the more dominant precipitation type is likely going to be freezing rain. Now, it's probably going to be the dominant precipitation type down here too, but I think they had this up because they really think some of the worst freezing rain totals could potentially be in this area. So if you mix the how heavy the precipitation will be mixed in with how cold it actually is, I think this could be the epicenter of maybe some of the worst weather. And if you actually read the discussion of where some of these ice storm warnings have issued, Fort Worth being a big area, highly populated area that is under an ice storm warning now, it mentions that, you could definitely have dangerous ice totals in this region. So we'll talk about that. Ice storm warnings continue for Little Rock and areas of Arkansas, and then you still have all the winter weather advisories into southern Missouri. So we'll get this going, and like I said, the ice storm warning really gets cranked up tonight for deeper areas in Texas. So let's take a look at what's kind of going on right now in Texas. You're reporting some freezing rain down here in the heart of Texas, well south of Dallas, in between Austin and Dallas, right in this section right here. No reports out here near San Angelo or anything like here, Abilene. There's no reports, so we don't know exactly what's going on. But really, if we zoom out here, guys, this is really where we think the worst. It's really going to crank up overnight into tomorrow. So, and then the ice storm warnings are right here. Winter storm warnings all down here. But you're going to mix with some sleet too, guys. But there's some destructive ice totals forecasted for this region. So that's what we're going to talk about right here in the beginning of this video. We'll take a look at the latest long-range HRRR model. Start this off around 8 p.m. tonight. If you're wondering where we're at, what time frame, it says 9 p.m., but back this up 1 hour because we're in Central Time. We'll keep this rolling here and check it out. We get into the middle of the night. I think there'll be an area of pretty heavy precipitation that develops here in central to west central areas of Texas. This will be falling in the form of probably some heavy freezing rain. There'll be some pockets of heavy, maybe even convective in nature, guys. Some lightning and thunder is possible. I'm not going to rule it out. And then you look down here a little bit further, maybe in south central sections of Texas, near San Antonio, Austin. Basically, you're going to have a larger area of precipitation that really gets going in Texas. And you still got the shallow, cold air entrenched deep into the state of Texas. So it's below freezing at the surface. So if you're wondering what this pink is, that is mainly freezing rain. But like I said, would not rule out some of this being sleet mixed in too. Now, I know up here, this is Dallas. This is Fort Worth. Always remember that this is the county Dallas is in because of this small county that's right just northeast of Dallas. That always lets me know where that is. I've kind of figured that out on the county map. So anyways, you keep this rolling here. Getting into about 6 a.m., people are starting to wake up, and this is becoming a widespread ice storm for the heart and the meat of Texas out here. All this pink you see, that's freezing rain. This is really overspreading the area, and then you get to about midday. And what's wild is you're getting some more deeper cold air aloft out here in western Texas. So you're switching to more of a wintering mix. So I would expect maybe some winter storm warnings to get extended a little bit further west. I wouldn't be surprised, but this would show a solid area of frozen precipitation for Lubbock, Odessa, and places pretty deep down here in western and southwest Texas. So this continues. This is freezing rain falling in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Abilene, all-out ice storm. Weatherford, Stevensville, all-out ice storm ongoing. And we keep it going all the way through the afternoon, the evening hours, and this continues. Just plumes of moisture continues to fire up, and this starts to move into southern sections of Oklahoma as we're getting into the late afternoon, evening hours, and then you're going to get a period of significant icing that begins to occur in those areas of southern Oklahoma. But look up here. This is getting close to Amarillo. More cold air aloft. So the HRRR model is saying some heavy snow back here. And what's wild is if you keep this going all the way throughout the overnight hours of tomorrow, guys, this is tomorrow. This is like 2 a.m. tomorrow night. Not overnight tonight, but tomorrow night. There's still freezing rain falling. Okay, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, down here to Austin, everybody in between, Abilene, San Angelo. And then you got some backside cold air switching into snow at the tail end. Heavy freezing rain south of Oklahoma City. All these counties in southern Oklahoma, freezing rain mixed with some sleet. And then at the tail end of this, if you go all the way 48 hours out, you got this last little bit of moisture pulling through that could be a back-end thumping of snow for areas of maybe North Texas and southwest Oklahoma. We don't know what this is going to do. This is kind of a wild card that we're trying to figure out. But ice totals between now, and let's see if there's an upgraded forecast. Ice totals between now and tomorrow morning, you're already starting to get significant icing down here near Austin. Just a solid glaze up in here in Dallas. Nothing too bad in these ice storm warnings right into here yet. Significant icing beginning to occur down here in southwest areas of Texas. Okay, but then you go another 24 hours. This takes us all the way till Thursday morning, guys. And we're just going out to the entire duration of the events. Look at this. A half inch of ice. Getting close to 3/4 of an inch of ice. In fact, you have that right around in here. And look at this area. You see this dark red? That's pushing an inch of freezing rain. That is catastrophic ice totals. With a little bit of a breeze, you're going to start to bring down trees. I'm not trying to freak anybody out, but what people don't realize is really the meat of this ice storm is going to move through tomorrow. And like I said, it's wild because it feels like we've been talking about this for the last few days. And then you already have sleet that's not going to melt on the ground. Sleet doesn't really stick in the trees, but you already have a glaze on the trees in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But you go on and add another quarter to maybe half inch of ice in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, okay, mixed in with all the sleet, treacherous conditions. The good thing is for a lot of these areas, by the time you get into Thursday, you warm up substantially, very quickly. It's not like you're going to have a lingering cold air mass, okay? You're going to have a mass melting later this work week that's really going to melt things very quickly into the weekend. But you got to deal with this for the time being. And this is an epic in all the bad ways ice storm for Texas. The only good thing news with this is if you try to compare this with 2021, we're not dealing with temperatures in the single digits, right? So we're not dealing with these sub-0 degree temperatures. Instead, you're going to lose power in these areas. But thankfully, you're not going to lose power in its 5 degrees outside like you did in February 2021 when the power grid failed in Texas. Okay, but I mean, even look here in southern Oklahoma, you're going to start to get widespread quarter-inch freezing rain totals, which is not good. Okay, you're going to mix with some sleet. This is just through tomorrow morning. But watch this. Watch as we go through the duration of the event. You start to have more of a convective element again showing up. It's showing pockets of sleet. It's hard to predict where sleet's going to happen. It's impossible to predict unless it's right there on radar, kind of like what the National Weather Service in Dallas did this morning. It's hard to predict when these sleet storms are going to happen, especially in a setup like this. So watch out towards later tomorrow night into Thursday morning. You should have more cold air aloft that starts to move through, and you could be dealing with a lot of sleet in areas of western Texas, North Texas, and maybe southwest Oklahoma. And then you look at snow based off this HRRR model run, and this is overdoing it, but it is picking up with a few to several inches of snow back here in Texas, mixing with some of these ice totals that are going to flirt with these areas too. So pretty wild to see. You go to Arkansas and surrounding areas. This will include Little Rock, obviously, and then Memphis. This band is moving out, and we look at the radar right now, kind of out the Little Rock area, and let's pull back and go to Little Rock and see what's going on. Not sure what the ground conditions in this area is, but it looks like you have some nasty conditions moving south of the city, but you're still reporting freezing drizzle, freezing rain in Little Rock. But you got an all-out ice storm on going south of Little Rock. It's wild. You go back a few days ago, and I would say there was probably no chance of there being frozen precipitation in southern Arkansas, even like 48 hours ago. But here we are, right? Here we are. Still ongoing ice storm in Memphis. You started out with sleet, and it's weird. You're reporting some rain, so you're flirting with that freezing line. But, in Memphis, you're dealing with just straight freezing rain now, mixing with a little bit of ice. But what's wild is you have these occasional reports of snow and sleet. Okay, so that just goes to show you that it's really hard to really figure out what's falling, guys. It really is. I mean, and look at this report of freezing rain and sleet down here, getting very close to the Louisiana border, Arkansas-Louisiana border. So, it's pretty wild to see, guys. But we continue. We're going to get a break tonight. Probably throughout the entire overnight hours, not much is going to fall, but some freezing drizzle. And then the next round, we would call this the third round, moves in, and it really moves in through tomorrow afternoon and evening for Little Rock. Temperatures, I think, will be a little bit warmer. Okay, but this can move pretty far north. Watch out the Ozarks, but this is another lethal round of freezing rain that blasts through Little Rock, through Memphis. How cold is the temperature still going to be? Because remember, the models are struggling with how cold. Could it be a little bit deeper into Mississippi? We're starting to lose the true cold source, but it's still here. Okay, so this is 3 a.m. Thursday morning. And the next round is moving through. And this could be heavy. You see these pockets, a convective element with this, guys. I'm telling you, we're going to be dealing with this, throughout most of the work week, guys. And this continues through Thursday morning, and then I think you potentially start to warm up, and some of the freezing rain as we're getting to Thursday morning begins to switch to just plain old rain finally by the time we get into midday Thursday. Okay, but icing totals just between now and the duration of this event. Some of this has already fell, but you can expect, I can tell you can probably expect another 1/4 inch of ice in Little Rock. Memphis, probably the same thing. South of Memphis, the ice totals can be even more. Stop this if you need to, guys, and we'll go to the HRRR model. And really, you see these areas of sleet, this really moves through the HRRR model saying, you could mix with a little bit more sleet as you get into overnight tomorrow night. But I don't know about this yet. I really don't. But I show you this just so you know that you can mix with some sleet. Dallas, that even caught me off guard. I thought you could mix with some sleet in Dallas today, but I didn't think you'd have thunderstorms of sleet. I didn't. I thought it would be another convective kind of day today where you could have lightning and thunder, but I didn't think you'd have all out just intense thunderstorms of sleet. I tell you that. Tennessee. We look at Nashville and what's going on right now. We'll pull up the radar and see what's going on. And, I'm doing all this, so by the time some of you folks watch this will be old news. But let's zone back in here. Please stop doing that and let me zoom in. Thank you, Radar Scope. So some areas in Nashville, you're flirting just above freezing. So you're just getting rain, but, areas the further west of Nashville you get, the little by little the temperature continues to be lower. So, if you go a county or two west of Nashville, you're in the middle of an all-out ice storm. Okay? Nashville, you're flirting with it right now. South of Nashville, you got well, this is a rain report now, even though it looks like a wintry icon, but just outside the city, freezing rain. Even around the city, freezing rain reports, but you're flirting right around freezing in the Nashville area. But we expect this obviously to drop overnight, but we take a look at the radar and what's going on with the HRRR model. We expect things to switch to freezing rain overnight. You could mix with sleet, and this begins to sag all the way into northwest Alabama, so I think sometime overnight you could have some patchy freezing rain as far south as Florence, Alabama into the Cumberland Plateau. Certainly you're favored because you're in higher elevation. I got a guy who I speak with a lot on Twitter. He's an awesome dude. He lives in the Cumberland Plateau, and he can speak on the microclimate that is in that area where there's an area of higher elevation right into here. Okay, so, I would not be surprised for, a decent glazing in certain areas. Okay, so I continue to move through, and I think you'll be dealing with freezing drizzle, light freezing rain throughout the wee hours of the morning. And even as we're waking up tomorrow morning, you don't see anything on this map, but I really think we'll have freezing drizzle, light freezing rain flying around. In most of Tennessee, I would not be surprised. But, you get into late tomorrow evening, not a whole lot going on. There'll be almost a 24-hour break in the precipitation. And then this is when it gets weird, okay? We're getting into Thursday morning at this point, or the wee hours of the morning, Thursday morning, okay? This is when you have some more cold air aloft. The temperatures are more marginal, but there's more cold air aloft. So do you get a round of more of a wintry mix in like Nashville, some northern areas of Tennessee, maybe southern areas of Tennessee? Do you mix more so with sleet? Do you get a burst of snow? Some like models like the NAM want to bring an area of snow into northeast Tennessee. Okay, so it's something we have to watch. And you look at the final couple frames here, and this brings a burst of snow in the higher elevations Thursday morning of Tennessee and North Carolina. And you're right on the fringe. Look, the cold air mass is right here, but this is all rain. So it's something we got to watch. Thursday is going to be a weird day. Okay, it gets kind of weird, and we'll have some updated information in the morning and tomorrow evening. But, ice totals between now and the duration of this event, expect a little bit of a glaze. It could be 1/10 of an inch or more in far northwest sections of Alabama, but a solid glaze in the Cumberland Plateau. I could, see it being a little bit more than this. Does Nashville sneak in a 1/4 inch of ice? To me, that would warrant an ice storm warning, but they're sticking with the winter weather advisory, and, you got to stick with those guys. Sleet. Okay, a lot of this you see right here is from that round that moves through in the wee hours of the morning Thursday, which we question. We're not sure about. It's a weird last hurrah with this kind of train of winter weather, if you will. Okay? And then let's talk on the northeast. So this is kind of more of a now thing. as we get into the middle of the night tonight, we'll expect a round of snow for West Virginia. I sure hope my guy in West Virginia gets some snow. There's a guy that's been watching my channel. I'm not exactly sure of your name. I know of your YouTube profile name, but he's been wanting some snow for a while. I hope this is not rain for you. I hope it's snow. I really do. But this is around 1 a.m. Tonight. Has a round of snow moving through northern VA, areas of Maryland, has some snow flying around for Washington, D.C. right here, some snow for sections of the northern sections of Delaware, northern sections, the northern half of Maryland. And really what's been interesting is how this has trended north. So this is around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It's snowing in southern New Jersey. It's snowing in New York City. How heavy? Not sure. Snowing for all Long Island. Snowing, I think this will be more widespread in southern New England. And you got a pretty cold air mass. It's pretty cold up here. Plenty cold enough for snow. So how heavy is this? Does this give somebody a quick couple inches of snow when in the wee hours of the morning tonight into tomorrow morning? Not sure, but look at this. It ends with a pretty solid burst of snow in the Delmarva right in here. So does somebody sneak an inch or two of snow right here in Delaware and southern New Jersey, maybe sections of Long Island? I think it's possible. I do. And then this moves out, okay? And then, that's all she wrote with that. Let's say the GFS has trended north with this all the way up until now. And it really has a solid band of snow tomorrow morning showing up from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore up to New York City. Okay, so watch out for this entire area right into here for a sneaky, small snow event overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Don't let it catch you by surprise. I'm not going to say you heard it here first, but don't let it catch you by surprise. So really, I'll go with the GFS ensemble. I like what this is showing. It's showing maybe a half inch to an inch of snow on Long Island. Maybe you finally get some snow, accumulating snow in New York City. You already broke the record for I think the deepest you went into winter without seeing snowfall. I think you've broke the all-time record. I think you did. But anyways, it's going to be interesting on how far north this gets. Shows widespread half inch to inch and a half snowfall totals in West Virginia. And then Washington, D.C. throws you a bone by a half inch to close to an inch of snow. Delmarva, watch out for an inch of snow. Watch out. So I know a lot of these sections have not seen anything this year. So you might see something tomorrow morning or at least see it flying around. So that's all I got. God bless all y'all. Have a great evening. Stay safe. It's going to get dangerous tonight. I'll be with you in the morning. God bless.